This is oh, it is. It's usually pretty close to.
Good evening, everyone. I would ask you to take a moment to turn off or make silent or do not disturb your various electronic devices so that we can observe Good Friday in relative stillness together. Tenebrae is the service of the shadows, a service that takes place on Good or Holy Friday. This is a rare day in which we are asked to be fully present to the grief and pain of our world, represented today by the Passion of Jesus. So we come in preparation for joy, knowing that we must witness the sorrow of this day together in order to truly understand what the rejoicing of Easter means. So we begin in community in covenant, because we are better able to witness grief when we hold one another as well. Please rise in body or in spirit and join me in speaking the words of our covenant. They are printed in the order of service and in the description online. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Let us join together in singing hymn number 265 in the gray hymnal. 265, O Sacred Head Now Wounded. Holy Week begins with Palm Sunday and continues with Maundy Thursday, the celebratory return of Jesus, his Last Supper with his friends, good times. And yet for those of us who know the story, those good times are tainted with the knowledge of what happens today, the humiliation, crucifixion, and death of Jesus. Observing this time is difficult for us, for we Unitarian Universalists. We want to fast forward to Easter and the celebration, to skip this observance, see how empty our sanctuary is. This is the case every year. But this time, this sorrowful time, is part of Easter time too. The pain of Good Friday is inevitable. Some of us try to work through our sorrow and pain by making it right, doing the work of justice or service or comfort and care. But sometimes, in any given moment, we cannot make it right. Sometimes we can only witness what is hard or heartbreaking. Sometimes we need to feel the grief that we prefer to set aside to move through most of our days. Sometimes we need to acknowledge that pain and sorrow, fear and anguish are real, They're not our only experience of life, but they are real. Lament, the spiritual and religious practice of witnessing and grieving what is not right in the world, is part of the Easter story. It is part of all the stories in which salvation or triumph or rebirth eventually occurs. The story of the Last Supper and the Crucifixion is a terrible story. And for those of us who have heard it again and again, it is also permission to see what is horrible and to understand it in the greater story. To know that it is part of every human experience. It is part of being alive, but it is not the only thing. It's not something that we welcome or allow, but it is something to know and understand and continue beyond. So this year, as every year, there are hard things in this service, ancient and current. They will likely touch upon things that you mourn, that break your heart: death, betrayal, cruelty. And yet, in our togetherness, in the chalice that holds our flames as one, there is love and compassion and remembrance, the reassurance that we go on. We learn how to do that from and with one another, from and with these stories that we rehearse and learn from every year. In Maundy Thursday Anamnesis, Tom Emanuel writes, "A strawberry is a ritual of picking and planting, kneeling and rising, licking juice from innocent fingers in summerhood and child time. A strawberry is a liturgy I've learned by rote, sowing and reaping, wanting and forgetting, a kneeling and a savoring, a ripening of recollection, the work of the people. A strawberry is a prayer for rain, for amnesty, a steady job and a home and a bed, una oración migrante, a traveling mercy. A strawberry is a prophecy of hands stained only with crimson hollow threats and syrup, the promise of a new Jerusalem and an end to exploitation. A strawberry is an olive branch, an anointing, a covenant poured out in blood and sweetness for the forgiveness of many in the fullness of time. A strawberry is a sacrament, a great thanksgiving, an acceptable sacrifice, a memorial. For this is my body, broken for you. Take this, all of you, and eat it in remembrance of me." Maundy Thursday commemorates the final Passover supper of Jesus and his disciples. The Lord's Supper, the first communion, a time of sharing and hope with the knowledge of the hardship to come. Emanuel's poem names for us the strawberry picked by migrant workers as another communion, where the goodness of the earth is blended with the hardship that we inflict upon one another. That sweetness blended with what we accept as sufficient sacrifice, one that we wish to move past with quick gratitude. But poetry like that and worship like this is our reminder that there are things that require our close attention, our anger, our grieving, and our determination to see the world better than it is right now.
And Jesus went with his disciples to a garden called Gethsemane to pray. It was a place Judas also knew, for Jesus had often gone there with his disciples. And so Judas led the soldiers there, and the priests and the elders. He had told them, "The one I shall greet with a kiss is the man. Seize him and lead him safely away." This is adapted from The Judas Kiss by Reverend Clark Dewey Wells. The Judas kiss is an archetype. All have tasted it. From Christ to Caesar, to you and me. Our memory of it is sharp, because in betrayal we are twice hurt. A wound is hard to bear. Add betrayal as its cause, and the heart knots. Caesar struggles for life as the assassins stab at him. But when he sees his friend Brutus with a raised dagger, his heart collapses within. Et tu, Brute? Then fall, Caesar. Violation of trust is murder more painful than knives. The gentle kiss of duplicity more stunning than any blows. Bad enough to be turned over, but that we are turned over by the treachery of friends, that's the sting that scars our souls. There is danger in betrayal that we brood until anger becomes sullen, stuck, etched forever in the set of the jaw, lines on the face. We must work against that. If we cannot forgive those who knifed us in the back, and who of us are saints? We can at least look to our own welfare. We must move on to life. A second lesson. Not all we call betrayal is actually so. A foolish trust betrays us at times, not our enemies. Samson believed in Delilah, though 3 times in a row she proved unworthy of that trust. That Samson let Delilah deceive him a 4th time doesn't mean he was betrayed. It means he was a damn fool. We too have done enough hurting ourselves to recognize that capacity in others. A third lesson. In our self-centeredness, we often assume claims on others we have no right to claim. We think others owe us duty, loyalty, even generosity, when in fact they don't. We take others' gifts as if they were ours by right. We don't own each other. We shouldn't feel betrayed when we are refused what was never promised. Enough betrayals without concocting more. The cross is fair warning of what to expect in life, but don't bury it in virulent resentment or try to smother it in the lilies of innocence. Those of us who have recovered know it won't work. As Judas drew near, Jesus said to him, "Friend, why are you here?" And Judas kissed him, and they laid hands upon him. And Jesus said to them, "Have you come out as against a robber, with swords and clubs? I was with you in the temple day after day, and you did not lay hands upon me. Ah, but this is your hour and the power of darkness.
They took him, and they came to a place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. And there they crucified him, and divided his garments among them, and they sat down and kept watch over him there. And over his head they put the charge against him, which read, "This is Jesus, the King of the Jews." And those who passed by taunted him. Mosab Abu Toha writes, "You were so small in my hands, no shrapnel could hit you. But the dust and the smoke of the bomb rushed into your lungs. No need for any gauze. They just closed your eyes. No need for any shroud. You were already in your swaddling blanket." And Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do."
Way over yonder is a place that I know, where I can find shelter from my hunger and cold, and the sweet taste in good life is so easily found. Way over yonder, that's where I'm bound. I know when I get there, the first thing I'll see is the sun shining golden, shining right down on me. Then trouble's gonna lose me, worry leave me behind. in a garden of wisdom from some long ago dream. Oh yeah, I'll find my way to the land where the honey runs in rivers each day, and the sweet taste in good life is so easily found way over yonder. That's where I'm bound. Oh, way over yonder. That's where I'm bound.
Standing there at the foot of the cross were Mary, the mother of Jesus, and her sister, and also Mary that was called Magdalene. Elizabeth Tarbox writes, I was working with a group of young people at a Safe Schools conference in Boston. They were discussing how to tell their parents that they were queer. Many of them had suffered harassment, brutality, and ostracism by their peers, and they worried about how to protect their parents from sadness. Tell them you will always love them, even if they reject you. Talk to your siblings first. Ask for their support. It is rough, admitted one woman, but you can have a closer, more honest relationship with them once they know. One young man had tears in his eyes. I'm scared of hurting them, he admitted. I never wanted to lie to them. My parents are neat people, but I'm afraid they will be so disappointed in me. Part of Jesus' suffering, one of his concerns as he was crucified, was for his mother. I looked at these fine young men and women around the table at the conference, and I thought of Jesus saying, "Woman, behold your son," and to the disciple, "Son, behold your mother." Like Jesus, these young men and women wanted to protect their parents from sadness and disappointment. In the Bible story, Jesus' mother stayed with him right to the end. When everyone else turned away, his mother was still there, and I hope that this will be true too for the students I meet at this conference. I hope their parents will not turn away when they are most needed. If I could speak to each one of their parents, I would say, "Behold your child and be proud." When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing near, he said to his mother, "Woman, behold your son." And to his disciple he said, "Son, behold your mother."
One of the criminals railed at Jesus, saying, "Save yourself and us." But the other rebuked him, saying, "Do you not fear God, being yourself under the same condemnation? And we are justly sentenced, for we are receiving the due reward of our deeds. But this man has done nothing wrong." And he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." A reading from the declaration of Rümeysa, Öztürk, filed in the U.S. District Court in Vermont. My name is Rümeysa, Öztürk. I am 30 years old. I am a citizen of Turkey. I have lived in the United States since 2018 and am currently a PhD student at Tufts University in the Child Study and Human Development program. I miss interacting with my Tufts community from working with my advisor and professors, supporting my lab mates as we worked on peer reviews, my interactions with undergraduate students, and special projects like our Mosaic art project and the collective grieving space for children. I was detained on March 25th, 2025, in the early evening. I was speaking to my mother on the phone when several men approached me on the street and then surrounded me, and I screamed. I had begun to be afraid that I could be targeted for violence. When the men approached me, my first thought was that they were not government officials, but private individuals who wanted to harm me. I felt very scared and concerned as the men surrounded me and grabbed my phone from me. I asked who they were, and they said they were the police. After I was put into the car, I asked again who they were, where they were taking me to, and they told me I was being arrested, but they didn't say why. They took me out of the car and shackled my feet and belly, and then put me in the car again. I again asked to speak with my attorney, but they told me that I could not. I asked an officer a few times if I was physically safe. He seemed to feel guilty and said, "We are not monsters. We do what the government tells us." He also warned me that what you can say can be used against you. I pray every day for my release so I can go back to my home and community in Somerville. I plan to stay with a dear friend for a short while after the ordeal I have been through. I still have my apartment close to Tufts that I plan to return to. I want to complete my PhD, which I have been working on for the last 5 years. I want to return to Tufts to resume all of my cherished work. And Jesus said to him, "Truly, I say to you, this day you will be with me in paradise."
The Reverend Howard Thurman writes, "Again and again it comes. This is the season of remembrance, this time of recollection. The burdens of the years float upon the currents of the heart. Into the challenge of our anguish we throw the strength of all our hope. We match the darts of our despair with the treasures of our dreams. We challenge the mind of death with our love of life. Such is the time of recollection, this season of remembrance."
Theo Marieski.
Pamela K. Urello.
Suzanne Simmons Galvin.
Richard Simmons.
Joan Przygowski.
Tracy Wilson.
Joan Brigham.
Gregory Clark.
Maximilian Teo.
Christine Mullen. Holding all of these and all those still unnamed, let us take a time in stillness and remembrance together. And Jesus, knowing all was nearly finished, said, I thirst. And they put a sponge soaked with vinegar on a spear tip and held that to his mouth. Gray whale, now that we are sending you to the end, that great God, tell him that we who follow you invented forgiveness and forgive nothing. I write as though you could understand and I could say it. One must always pretend something among the dying. When you have left the seas nodding on their stalks, empty of you, tell him that we were made on another day. The bewilderment will diminish like an echo, winding among your inner mountains, unheard by us, and find its way out, leaving behind it the future, dead. And hours when you will not see again the whale calves trying the light. Consider what you will find in the black garden and its court. The sea cows, the great auks, the gorillas, the irreplaceable host ranged countless and foreordaining as stars our sacrifices. Join your word to theirs. Tell him that it is we who are important. And Jesus cried out loudly, Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani, which means, it is said, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Please rise. We will sing together number 261, When Jesus Wept. Please be seated. And Jesus said, "It is finished." And while the sun's light failed, the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Anyone who tells you not to be afraid should have their head examined. Cities are burning, hillsides are burning, and the dumpster fire of our common life is out of control. I wish I could tell you when it was going to get better. I wish I could promise that better was anywhere down this road. I miss dancing, bodies in something between conversation and flight. I miss singing, the way that we trusted the air that moved between us. I miss the casual assumption that everything will be all right in the morning. These days, I am trying to be buoyed by the smallest things. A ripe tomato, a smattering of rain. These days, I am trying to remember that songs of lamentation are still songs. Then Jesus, crying with a loud voice, said, "Father, into thy hands I commit my spirit." And having said this, he breathed his last, and there was darkness all over the land.
Sweet day, so cool, so calm, so bright, the bridal of the earth and sky. The dew shall weep thy fall tonight, for thou must Sweet spring, full of sweet days and roses, a box where sweets compacted lie. My music shows ye have your closes, and only a sweet and virtuous soul, like seeds of timber, never gives. But though the whole world turn to coal, then chiefly
So now, within this story, we wait. We wait to see if the tomb will open, if life will come again. We know how the story goes. We know that life returns in normal ways and miraculous ways. We know that resurrection is coming, that these buds will open, that we can and do what is necessary to take another breath, to right the wrongs of life. And yet, in this old, old story, we wait. In all our stories, sometimes we must wait, knowing that there are new days, new ideas, new possibilities ahead, but not yet. While we are in this moment, still in the tomb. Let us speak together the words of our unison benediction, reminding us so that we have this to take with us as we wait, the hope of what we might help make right. Go out into the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all beings. And please remain for our postlude.